Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Robert Weichelt with EXP for another episode of Weichelt Wednesday. Today, we have one of our coaches. He is a beast when it comes to land and new construction and creative financing. There's so many great things we're going to talk about today. So, Thomas, without further ado, happy holidays, and let's get right into it. Who's Thomas Mayhew?
Yeah, so thanks, Robert. It's a pleasure to join you here for a minute, and love your hat, of course. You know, as you can tell, I'm a little bit of at least a gourmand in hats. Maybe not a connoisseur, but I'm heading
I
there.
love it. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I have been licensed for about 14 years. I was in Washington State for about 10 of those, and built up a really big business over there. And then I thought, well, it'd be a great idea to go, start over where I don't know anybody and in a rural market to top it off. So I've been back in school and, learning a lot. And it seems like what I've been doing a lot of lately is the investors seem to like me a lot. So, I'm a straight shooter, very honest. I'm not an inspector. I'm not a contractor. I don't claim to do those things. But if I see something, I point it out. And for a lot of these people, they're looking at properties on FaceTime or, WhatsApp video, and, they're 5-10 states away. Some are in Florida, some Washington, California, Hawaii, wherever they may be. And so I point stuff out because I don't want them to have to spend money on something I could have pointed out, and then they could have made a good choice. Like, hey, let's pursue this or not, or let's change the offer, So obviously land is one of my favorite things. Land doesn't argue with you much. And there's a few things of course you want to watch out for in land. You might, if it's a kind of a unique parcel or more commercial industrial, then you got to start thinking about phase ones and phase twos and things like that, environmental concerns. But generally I found it to be quite easy. And so I've enjoyed selling, lots of lots, lots of parcels. And of course, over here, a lot of people are looking for recreational property. You know
what I've noticed is they're not making a lot more dirt.
I was just about to say that. I need somebody to make some more recreational properties for me to sell.
Sure. So tell me, we were talking earlier about some of these creative ideas, whether it be seller financing. I'm seeing a lot of sellers offering concessions to the buyers, whether it be paying closing costs, buying down their rate. There's a lot of good stuff going on. What are you seeing in that space?
Yeah, great question. In fact, this is something that's been very near and dear to my heart because, well, I like creative finance. And I've done a number of deals where the seller offered some form of financing, maybe a second note, what have you. And so those are all been very interesting deals. So I just met this last Friday with my title guy, actually put this together, their attorney. I met with him and I found out that he's an ace in the hole as far as creative finance stuff goes. So whether it's, having the seller actually cover the down payment and stating it as such in the contract, and putting in there who the first lien holder is, because of course the bank's gonna is gonna care about that a lot.
Sure.
But he knows how to do it, all legally and everything. And then any other kind of creative sub to or owner carry, what have you, he's the man. So that's kind of a nice shortcut. I know several great attorneys in the North Central Ohio area, but this guy takes the cake for me, and so we're going to do some interesting deals that wouldn't otherwise get done.
You know what? You touched on something pretty good. The creative financing, subject to seller carries, assumable. There's lots of things that we're going to see. A lot of agents that I talk to on a pretty regular basis, been in the business less than 10 years. We really haven't been able to see that kind of market. Now it's coming back again, and it's really important for some of the newer agents to get educated on some of these ideas, whether it be a seller carry, seller financing, assumables, all these other options. So it's really important to, as a new agent and an agent that's been doing this a long time that maybe hasn't been exposed to these types of things, really get educated in that space. What do you recommend an agent that's watching this? What do you recommend they do to get educated on some of these creative financing type things?
That's a great question. YouTube, university, right?
Yeah.
So there's several, really prominent investor types, and some of them are, fairly friendly to agents, and so there's a huge videos on various topics of seller finance, and they're very useful because at the end of the day, it's another tool in your tool bag, because tool A that you've always been using may not get the deal done in the market we're in now and going into, because it's going to get more important as time goes on.
You know what? Also, a good recommendation for a new agent that's paying attention to this: just cut out the middleman and come straight to us, and we'll walk you through the whole process. Because you and I have both been in the business quite some time. Yep. We know how this process works. I would recommend any agent watching to reach out to us and let's sit down and let's go over a conversation. Let's get you educated on, the creative financing, the seller assumables, the subject twos, and all these other really amazing ways that have been time tested. It's just market, sensitive. So we're going into the market where that's going to be relevant. So I would urge anyone paying attention to this to reach out to us. Use the link below, reach out to us, and we'd be more than happy. Thomas and I would be more than happy to sit down with you and put you and guide you into the right direction. So that would be my 2 cents. And all of our coaches, I'm just sitting here looking at the roster. We have over 25 coaches, from online offers, video marketing, scripts and role play. Productivity coach. We have Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry, Club Wealth. We've got so much training and coaches. We have a coach that's dedicating his time to the CRM. The best kind of CRM? The one you use. Yeah. So he walks you through that. So I'm just going through the coaches roster. So Thomas, man, I tell you, man, Tom, it's just so refreshing to sit down with you, get caught up, and really kind of hear what's happening in the space that most of us, whether we've been in the business a long time or not, have forgotten about or never really knew about. So I appreciate your time today. And what would you like to say to the agent that's watching this? In closing, what would you like to say to the agent that's tuning in?
Well, your market, I know some markets, they're going down already. And so these things I just talked about they're super important. My market is still extremely strong. I just put an offer on a property. There was 12 offers on a duplex, and it's still on fire. So we still have an inventory problem here, but the day is coming when it's going to go the other way. And then all this other creative finance, but where the creative finance is already important is interest rates have gone up so high. It's taken away the profitability of the deal without it. Yeah. So ergo, then you have buyers just are going to sit on the sideline. So I don't want them to sit on the sideline. I want them to get in real estate, right? Let's go.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Well, you know what? You heard it here first, guys. This is Robert Weichelt for another episode of Weichelt Wednesday with my good friend, Coach Tom Mayhew. Thank you so much for your time. Happy holidays. I appreciate you, brother.
You're welcome. Likewise. Thanks a lot, Robert.